Hey, what's up, y'all? Welcome to the Relationship Cheat Code, where we give you the game, helping you to stress less and experience your absolute best in your relationship. This right here is my boo thing, my wife, my poo, my baby's mama, the love of my life, my queen, Aiyana.
And this right here is my slimming down, looking good. You've been exercising like a mug, and I'm seeing some things.
You seeing some things?
Pookie Pie husband, Ayize. I'm seeing some things. I'm like, okay, baby, I see you.
I appreciate that, boo. I'm gonna receive, I'm gonna accept, and I love it. I'm sorry, how you feeling today?
I am here.
Here?
Yes.
Okay.
I'm here.
Mm-hmm.
I'm really not trying to get all into my feelings today. There's a lot of stuff going on. Sometimes it's just like I don't want to do all of that.
Yeah.
So I'm making it do what it do, doing all the things. But I'm always happy to be with you.
Yeah, I definitely enjoy these opportunities and experiences to connect in and have conversations, dialogue.
Why you do that?
Talk. What?
Yeah, I definitely enjoy these opportunities.
I'm just saying,
like your voice dropped and you like leaned into the mic a little bit more. Like, why you do that? You're trying to back me right now on this podcast.
Hey, check this out, y'all. So I want to say that I'm feeling energized. I'm feeling energized, and we can get in the topic. We got something good for y'all today, but I just want to say this really quickly. So I'm feeling energized because right now, happening this month, I'm doing a 30-day King Me intensive.
Yeah.
And what we're focusing on is basically, your mental, emotional, spiritual, physical, and financial well-being. And so I'm trying to help brothers cultivate the ability to progress and grow in those different areas. And some of the results that I'm seeing, y'all, some of the shifts and the changes that I've made, and not that I've made, I've had to challenge myself significantly. I've had to pull and cut some things out, and some things that I've been grappling with for a long time. And so, but I've been successful.
You want to share?
Energy drinks, and one in particular, I'm not trying to put it on blast, but one in particular, like year after year after year.
I am so proud of you. I'm like, dang.
Yeah, and so I just decided.
The whole thing of like you have to make a decision,
and
then you got to get in proximity with other people
who
are also making similar decisions.
Yeah,
maybe they're working on different things, but they're still of like mind. It changes things.
Yeah, I mean that's facts. And so I made that decision, started the King Me Intensive. Fellas joined and have been a part of the process, been leaned in their own unique ways. And yesterday somebody said that they did something that they hadn't done in 9 years. And that was beautiful. Like I'm up in the morning on my bike, brothers on their treadmill, on the elliptical, on their bike. And that's just the physical aspect. But the mental piece is crucial too, y'all. Like in terms of the book that we're reading on a daily basis and how we're able to build and see ourselves in a different way. And so growth is happening. Today I asked a question. I asked the fellas, I said, who in your life challenges you the most? And I said, who in your life challenges you the most? And why do they challenge you? And then the other question was, are you willing to embrace that challenge? And so it was really fascinating because a number of people said their wife. My wife challenges me the most, and but what was interesting is that you chuckled. Why'd you chuckle? Let me not assume.
I mean, I guess because I was taking challenge as a I mean, I think that people might even understand that the challenge is it's not entirely bad, but we don't, like it's like it's a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, somebody like giving me problems, and I'm like, it would be the wife. That challenges you and makes you feel some type of way, but at the same time, later on, you be pausing and thinking about what she was saying.
Yeah.
I think that's very common, actually.
And that's actually what I intended. That's what I intended when I asked the question, to see who be like causing you problems, who challenges you in a way that doesn't feel comfortable and that really kicks up something inside of you that you might possibly resist. But that's not how it was received.
Oh.
The way it was received was, who challenges me the most that's actually encouraging me to grow.
Oh.
And so the brothers were saying, like, many of them were saying my wife. And so ladies, I'm just saying that y'all think that y'all man isn't paying attention, isn't hearing you, doesn't care about what you're talking about. But in this group of men, the brothers were expressing that, like, my wife is the primary factor that challenges me to become a better man. And what was also interesting, and it actually kind of touched me, one brother came forward and he said that my wife, she don't necessarily challenge me, but she supports me. And so I love the framing right there. He said she supports me. He said, but y'all brothers, this community right here, y'all challenge me. And then when he said that, another brother also echoed the same sentiment. Like, it's me seeing other men, me learning from other men, me hearing from other men, how to be a better man, that actually challenges me to elevate and raise my standard as a man. And so when they pointed out the fact that even going through this 30-day process is eye-opening and has been a challenge for them, because we got daily accountability and stuff like that, percentages that you got to calculate in terms of like movement and progress towards your goal. They said that this process has been not only eye-opening, but a challenge to them, and they're appreciative of the fact that it's been cultivated or curated in a way where we can build each other up, and challenge each other. And so that right there was it touched my heart, that a number of them were actually saying that and are already reaping the benefits. It's only been 6 days, y'all.
Only been 6 days.
It's only been 6 days.
I guess so. Today's the
6th. Yeah. It's only been 6 days, and wives are actually talking about the changes that they've seen in their husband and the shifts that they've seen being made. So it's really impressive, just the work that's being done. But I just wanted to say that I feel energized by the growth and the progress, and even the things that I'm doing for me personally in terms of abstaining from certain things. I mentioned the energy drinks, but also including certain things too, by drinking more water and the daily reading and the daily meditation.
Just feel better.
Yeah, it's the intentionality of it all. So,
Well, black man, I just want to say to you that I'm proud of you. It's your inspiration to me, and you're encouraging me every day you getting up, and even your the conversations, the things you're talking about, the things that you're saying and that you're like observing is just different. You know what I mean? So I feel like it just, like you already said, when you're intentional about seeking out growth or progress in a given area and you're really focused on that, then the conversations change, the energy changes, where you're focusing, changes. I can see that like in our day to day. So it's very good, very nice.
Oh, thank you, baby.
It's very attractive. Very attractive. All right, y'all. So we're going to shift now, and we are going to answer a question from you. I need some music coming at that time.
I might be able to make that work.
We need that. We need that when we do our Q&A. So if you don't know, we invite you to, you can DM us, you can email us at the email that's in the link. It doesn't in the link, the email that's in the description. In the description. And we'll do our best to get to your question. We get a lot of questions in, and this one today is,
if you want to hop in on the intensive, you can still join, fellas. Like whoever's watching this, you can go to Blam Intensive. We'll put the link in the description so you can join and get this goodness. I've actually dropped 6 pounds since I started. So
you on a roll, boo. Hold up, you dropped 6 pounds in 6 days?
Yeah.
This is day 6 and you dropped 6 pounds.
For some people that might not be big, but
that is no, it is for I don't know for who it's not big for. That's big for anybody. That's big in that small amount of time.
Yeah.
Good Lord.
Yeah.
Let me get myself together. Okay. All right. Yeah. All the links in the description. Okay. So today's question, talking about challenge. I feel like challenge is the theme so far. Talking about your King Me Intensive, which is a 30-day challenge to better yourself, to step it up, to upgrade yourself in terms of being a better man and husband and person and father and all of that. And then you were asking them about who challenges them and will they embrace the challenge? You challenging me because I'm in your atmosphere and you out here. I'm like, dang, this Bama's working out again. Let me walk to the kitchen instead of asking one of the kids to bring me something.
I think you should do a 30-day challenge.
Hold on. Did y'all peep that? I didn't say like let me go outside and take a walk. I'm stepping it up when I walk to the kitchen instead of telling one of my kids, come here.
Yeah.
Bring me them potato chips. And pour me some juice and bring it back up here.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I heard you say I need to do it. You think I should do one. There's some murmurings that are going on in the Blamely and in the atmosphere. There have been some people, several people who have been murmuring.
Yeah.
Community members. For those who don't know, we affectionately call our Blam Core membership community the Blamely. And we do a lot of things in that community to grow, to do our personal work and our relationship
What
work.
does BLAM stand for?
So we'll see. Black Love and Marriage. Black Love and Marriage. So yeah, stay tuned. Stay tuned for all these things. So this is a challenge. I said all that about challenge, right? Because this is a challenging situation that this wife is in. She has written in, and as I read her question, I just thought about her sitting and writing this question. What it must have taken her to just sit down and take the time to write it emotionally and what she's dealing with, because this is a challenge. This is a challenge, especially for those of y'all who have been married for a little while. So you have some norms established. You know, everybody gets some rhythm in your relationship. You have some things that you can rely on, some ways that y'all flow and that y'all be. And then your partner goes and changes on you, switches it up. And what we always say is, change is a good thing.
Yeah, change is inevitable. So
and
it's going to happen.
Change is actually always happening in some way, shape, or form. But I don't know about this change. Okay, I don't know. I'm just going to keep it 100. I don't know about this one. So let me just read the question and we're going to answer to the best of our ability. If you have thoughts, please drop them in the comments, right? These are real people with real situations who really want real feedback. So she simply says, my husband and I have been married for 15 years and we have 2 teenage children together. We've always had a stable and loving relationship. But recently, my husband told me that he has not been feeling fulfilled. He admitted that he loves me deeply and is committed to our family, but he feels that our sex life has become routine and that he's missing out on experiences. He proposed the idea of opening our marriage to include other sexual partners, suggesting that it could reignite the spark between us and that he would feel more satisfied. On one hand, I value our relationship and I want to make him happy. But on the other hand, the thought of him being intimate with someone else is deeply unsettling. I'm worried about the potential emotional issues and fallout and the impact that this could have on our family. Additionally, I'm concerned about how this might affect my own self-esteem, our trust. Is it possible for a long-term marriage like ours to survive and thrive with non-monogamy after everything that we've been through? Or are we risking everything we've built over the past 15 years? So I want to just lift that question up again. Is it possible for a long-term marriage like ours to survive after everything we've been through and even thrive with non-monogamy? Or are we risking everything we've built over the past 15 years? Can you survive and even thrive?
Yeah, that's a great question.
It's a big change.
A huge change, and so there's a couple of questions that I have, and of course, you know, she didn't include this. We can probably make some assumptions, but again, these are assumptions. So when he's speaking about including other people, what gender is he talking about? Does that have an impact on the dynamic? Is it male, female? Let's just assume.
Why you want to know that? Why does that matter?
I think that
I mean, not that it doesn't matter to her, but I'm just saying, like, that's going to impact your answer.
Yeah, it would.
It would.
It would.
Okay.
And so, and the reason why that it would is because if I feel as though if it's, let's say it was you, if it was no, let's not say it's you. Let's say you're her. Let's say you're her, and you're asking me that I'm trying to get it.
Kind of
Yeah, I'm trying to figure this out. I'm trying to organize.
It's the people who actually wrote. I mean, the women who wrote in.
Yes, and so if I'm him, all right, if I'm the husband,
okay,
and I'm interested in women, then
it's probably women. He said
probably is. But listen, though, but peep this
being
though.
with other people, she don't know how she gonna feel about that. She ain't say her being with nobody.
Yeah. So, but again, like I mean, nowadays you just don't know.
Mm-hmm.
Especially if you live in certain states.
Like, well, you doing
like certain cities, like it's.
Oh yeah, because that's the thing. There are marriages where people don't even live together. They live, in two.
I wasn't talking about that, but yeah.
Oh, I thought that's what you meant.
No.
Like, I thought you meant like how we've worked with people and based on their jobs or whatever, somebody has a whole apartment.
That's true.
In another state that they go to during the week to go work, and then they come back home on the weekends, or all kind of stuff.
Yeah, so y'all might not think that it matters, but for the person, we can assume that it's a woman. But the reason why I'm saying it's important is because there would be other concerns that she should have if I were her husband and it was a dude that I was trying to bring in, because it's easier for me to connect in with the men, and so then she would start to question those affiliations and relationships, and so it may pose additional problems in terms of the security of the relationship. If it's a woman that I'm interested in, then of course there still may be some insecurities and it can cause problems, but I feel as though you can manage that a little bit better, because pretty much most people be like, I don't want, who you hanging out with? I don't want you to be hanging out with her, and you shouldn't be having lunch dates and doing all that type of stuff with her. But if it's a dude, then it's like, who is this dude? Like, to be able to be having questions about that would be extremely, I think, concerning, and I would be super hypersensitive and all of that. So, but you don't agree?
No, I'm just listening. You get, you share your thoughts. I'll share my thoughts in a minute. You saying that one way would be a little better than another way.
I do think so. Yeah, I think that if it was women that he's interested in, I think that would be better. All right. But even with that being said, this is a heavy piece right here. So he's expressed dissatisfaction. And one of the things that I want to know is whether or not you've attempted to even introduce, other variants or aspects of intimacy and sexuality in a relationship prior to going to this extreme. And so if it's exclusively been like the two of you, which it sounds like it has, and it's been, missionary 24/7, then I definitely get it. But if there's been an introduction of certain things and there's some element of flexibility, and now he's looking for more, to me that also suggests that y'all have tried some things, and have y'all actually even spoken with a professional about it in terms of sexual exploration without the need to include other people. So if the answer is yes to all that, I would say do all of that stuff first. That's what I would say. If you've done all of that stuff and he's still in a space where he's like, yo, I'm unfulfilled, I'm dissatisfied, it's not, that thing ain't thinging, it's just not on point like I needed to be, and I'm looking for a variety, and I need some spice, and so I'm going to bring her in, somebody else in, then hey, what's up, y'all? So we know you're enjoying the episode, but check this out, y'all. We're not just any old random couple that's coming on YouTube every week just giving relationship suggestions and stuff like that. We're way more than that, y'all. We're trained therapists and relationship coaches. Yeah. This right here is my beautiful, incredible, sensational wife, Aiyana.
And this right here is my dapper, debonair husband, Ayize. So y'all, we just want you to know that there is more. We don't want you to just be a spectator. We want you to get in here with us and join our community. We have all kind of folks who are doing their personal work, their relationship work. We have sister circles and men's lounges and trainings, and we address all kinds of things from infidelity to disconnection to communication issues and sex and intimacy issues. Look, the solution is at blandcore.com. Join us.
It can cause problems, significant problems, and it can definitely derail your relationship. For the fact that
depends on her threshold.
Depends on her threshold. But if y'all are already
she was alarmed about it, because some people they're open generally, but like, but are we going to make it officially a thing? Like they're not. they may be fluid in their
Yeah.
sexual orientation and are not alarmed by, and this don't have nothing to do with sexual orientation. They
What's
may
the
be
overall health of your relationship though?
they may be fluid in terms of people coming, like them being able, like, oh, we went on vacation and we did something with somebody, like, you know what I'm saying? Hey, we had a great time, husband, wife, whatever. Somebody might be cool with that, but as a lifestyle and a way of living, that might be different. But then there are others who are like no, in all categories. So I don't know where she falls with it in terms of her general thinking. She's talking about the 15 years of the life that they've built together. Is that at risk? If she goes down this road with him.
What's the quality of the life? So you're speaking about this whole piece around the sex and him being dissatisfied, but what's the quality of their relationship outside of that?
Right.
To me, that's a significant indicator too, in terms of whether or not you can actually open up the door and explore even more. If y'all have trust in your relationship, which we don't know, if there's a certain level of security, connectedness, friendship, then it doesn't mean it gives you the green light to do this, but if you're already on if you are on rocky soil, and if there's some fractures in terms of you all's connection, intimacy, trust, safety in a relationship, then this is a bad idea. It's only going to make things worse. It's only going to make things worse. And so bringing somebody else into the equation, is going to, make it more funky. And so you want to sidestep this and avoid it. And again, make sure you're doing the other stuff first to expand your sexual experience.
What's the other stuff?
Going to a shop, getting some things, watching some videos, just having additional conversations, role playing, fantasizing, like whatever it may be. Like you can do a number of different things that make it more exploratory outside of bringing somebody else in. And then also, seeking professional help if those pieces right there, aren't helping. So
yeah.
So what say you?
Write my thoughts down because I don't want to miss this thought. If I get started on one, I got two thoughts. If I get started on one, I'm gonna forget the other one because that's how my brain be doing.
Yeah,
I'm about to forget it right now, so keep talking to him.
Oh, okay. You also asked the question around, not also, but a part of it was about whether or not if we would embrace the non-monogamous lifestyle, would that hurt the relationship? Again, look at the healthier relationship overall. I will say that we've worked with people where it works. And so we've helped people and we've supported people in their relationship, who've come to us for coaching and counseling, and we provided support in a way in which, again, they were able to strengthen their relationship, get clarity about what their desires are, their expectations, also get clarity around their boundaries. And but they're operating from a base and a foundation where there's some level of sturdiness and strength and emotional safety, security, and some clarity around boundaries that's present. And so because of that, they've been able to build on top of that. Not to say that they still didn't have issues, but I just want to be clear that if you choose to go a non-monogamous route, it does not mean that your relationship will automatically become worse. It doesn't mean it.
Well, it's always good to have two people, two perspectives.
It don't automatically mean that.
It doesn't automatically mean that. But more than likely it will be. Okay, so
it will be worse in her situation. Are you just saying this categorically?
I am.
Oh, okay.
So hear me out.
Drawing a line in the sand here.
So I want to be clear, right? We've worked with people who are non-monogamous, and people who are monogamous, and I don't make a judgment about it. I support people where they are. I don't try to influence people. You know what I'm saying? We're not the church of monogamy over here. You know what I mean? We don't roll like that. So there's no judgment there. And what my husband said is important. But I have some experience. And I have a perspective, and I don't think that most people, this is the first point, can handle non-monogamy. The far greater majority of people cannot handle non-monogamy. They can barely handle the relationship they have. Having a real, rich, good, solid, connected relationship even if you are non-monogamous and you're like, I'm not trying to be deeply connected to this other person, but we are going to connect in this way. Every time you're intimate with someone, emotionally, physically, right? There's a layer there of attachment that's happening, even if it's a dysfunctional attachment. So it gets complicated, even when people know how to pretend to be, or like, everything's okay. But spiritually, emotionally, I don't think people can, for the most part, handle non-monogamy and all that comes with that, because we can make an agreement, we can say that this is what it's going to look like, and we need to get permission about these things. I mean, we've helped people to support them in making their parameters. We know all about it, but there are still feelings and there are still things happening, when that's going on. I think too that people who engage in non-monogamy, some of y'all gonna really not be feeling this, oftentimes have challenges around true emotional intimacy, around achieving true emotional intimacy, deep connection, and solid attachment with their partner. It is very difficult. We're two people who come with their own backgrounds, their own baggage, their own mommy daddy issues, to get aware of their own emotions, their proclivities, their defense mechanisms, the ways that they attached as a young person, if you're even doing that kind of work. When we talk about attachment, y'all, we're talking about how you initially attached to your parent, the one who cared for you, or your caregiver, and whether or not they were responsive or not responsive, and attending to you, or dismissive, or even hurtful. And so we learn as young people, as little kids, how to be with the person who's our primary giver of all things: food, love, affection. If they withhold it, if they give it freely, all of that sets the blueprint for how we our how we're designed, and what our blueprint is, as we get older, and then we go and find a partner, and then we're working through that. That's already a whole lot of stuff that a lot of people are not even aware of. But many of you, if you're following us or you listen to us, you do have some awareness of this stuff. We're already working through all of that with one person.
Yeah.
Now we're bringing in other people. So if my attachment style, is avoidant or what have you, and then right, so non-monogamy might be attractive to me, because I get close, but I don't want to be too close. And so I personally feel that is not something like, well, that's just how I am, so that works for me. I always support people where they are, but I think that the goal should be to overcome the things that keep us from true emotional intimacy, to overcome the things that have been challenges for us, in terms of being able to fully connect in with self and with our partner. So there's all kinds of things that intellectually sound good. You'll hear people talking about non-monogamy and talking about, how, we're not designed that way, and all this kind of stuff. And we can have a whole show just on that alone. But I don't believe that most people can handle a good, healthy, relatively healthy, solid relationship with just them and one other person, well enough to be out here trying to, we're going to have this person and that person, right? Because stuff comes up. And I'm talking about that from a philosophical, spiritual standpoint. And I'm also talking about that from a concrete, I've been in here with people, working with them on their relationships, and their non-monogamous relationships. And there are oftentimes barriers. There are emotional barriers. There are, physical issues, but a lot of times the emotional intimacy and connection and the vulnerability and all of that becomes much more challenging in a relationship where that's happening. It doesn't mean it's bad, but are you going to be able to get the best of what it means to be fully connected into another human being who will lay down their life for you, love you, die for you, and you all will fully know each other butt naked? I think it's going to be much more difficult for you to do that. And again, just doing that with one partner.
Yeah.
Many people be married for 25, 35 years, 45 years, die, and still not achieve that.
That's
now
true.
we're going to bring in somebody else? I mean, what is the goal of marriage? What is the goal of your relationship? Is the goal just to get together and be together and build a life where we're functionally doing stuff? Or is the goal to become one? Is the goal to be able to open up your spirit and your soul? Is the goal to be able to have some things reflected back to you, by this other person who God has put in your life to help you grow? Or is the goal just to kind of get together and be together, and we'll see if this works? And many people have that kind of a thinking about marriage, but that's not what marriage is. You know what I'm saying? It just isn't. So I would say, yeah, it's probably gonna get worse. All that to say.
Hey, but
Don't do it. Go figure out what the issue is.
yeah,
and
yeah.
work on that instead of bringing out son. That's like people try to go have a baby to make
fix the marriage,
to make the marriage better. And everybody out here who got children, you already know it don't work like that. It's the same thing with this type of situation.
I mean, that's facts right there. The thing that I do want to say, just to contextualize it, in that the majority of marriages and relationships in this country are monogamous. And so, but you do have cultures, across the world where you're, you have polygamous relationships, and you also have polygyny that's present as well too. And so, again, these are different.
Polygamous and polygyny.
Just where the man, is able to have multiple wives, and then the woman is able to have multiple men, so these different aspect. And then you also have the polyamorous piece where you can love more than one person at a time. And so all of this is real. And again, I think that it's important that we contextualize that what you're lifting up is specifically for the Americanized person relationship.
It's just not Americanized because there are other countries and other peoples around the world who practice monogamy. So it's not an American thing.
I
don't want to make it
so you're speaking about if you predominantly, if your culture is one in which you predominantly recognize and practice monogamy, you're saying that is what this is for in terms of the approach that you're talking about.
So I think I'm with you. I think what you're saying is like, so for example, if we go to another country and polygamy is practiced, I'm not going there saying y'all are doing it wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is not what marriage is about. I'm absolutely not saying that. Culture matters. Culture frames everything. You know what I'm saying? So the culture in which we live, which oftentimes comes out of our spiritual beliefs and that kind of thing, and our values, it frames everything. So I don't think that polygamy in and of itself is bad. I do not believe that. I do not think for the average person who's reaching out to us and people who are culturally in this space in America as African Americans, a lot of folks listen to us who are, in this country with this culture, and based on how this culture is set up, I don't think that it works. I don't even think most people even understand what they're even trying to do. They don't even have any context. They haven't even studied any other country. And oftentimes, polygamy and stuff like that in other places in the world, a lot of times also is connected to family, is connected to how you support children and communities, is connected into how the greater community functions and helps to sustain itself. It's connected into their spirituality. And I respect that. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just think that all context matters. And I'm sure that this young lady's from Chicago.
What?
I don't know. I'm just playing.
Why you say that?
She from America, and she's African American, and she's from Chicago on the South Side, and I'm answering it based on that context. That's who I'm talking to. Okay.
What's her name?
She's anonymous. She's anonymous, and I'm making that up. So sis, I'm being playful, but yeah, I'm glad you make that distinction because we are people who. We're studied, not super well studied, but probably more than most in not just marriage and the institution of marriage, but what it looks like in different spaces, and culture and Black culture across the diaspora. So I know that there's more to marriage than just what I'm bringing forward, but culture matters. And in this context, don't do it. Just, you know what I'm saying? I mean, again, unless you just like, I'm fine with it. You know what I'm saying? But my thing is, if there's already a disconnect, if he's saying he's not feeling fulfilled and there's already a disconnect on some level, this is not going to be the solution. It's not going to be the solution. And if it's not something that you're feeling, I feel like too, this hasn't always been the case, but I want to say it's probably been about maybe half the time. So it's not been majority, but about half the time the people that we've worked with who have been in polyamorous situations or have an open marriage or whatever, the woman, has been maybe pretty kind of fluid and open in her on her sexual orientation and also in her flexibility sexually in terms of what she wants to experience.
Yeah.
And because of that, and because her and her partner or her husband, kind of came together, got to know each other that way, what have you, that she wasn't necessarily looking for that to stay being a part of the relationship, or that she wanted to, maybe kind of do something every now and then, but like this ain't gonna be like our regular day-to-day lifestyle. And then I've had these conversations where women, because of that flexibility and because of that freedom that they have,
That's a bait and switch, Joe.
Then they feel like they have to kind of stay in that space because the man is like, well, this is how I knew you to be, and this is what we. But my thing is, two things can be true at once. I say that all the time. You can definitely be like, oh, I'm here for it.
And we out here in these streets doing our thing, and that's how I met you. That's how we grew together in our relationship. That's what I enjoy. That's what you've expressed that you enjoy.
Because I feel like they be feeling stuck.
And then you make the decision that you're gonna switch it up. I'm like, come on. I mean, this is important. This is significant. You know what I'm saying? I mean, just this is a core piece of maybe even the vibrancy of the relationship, maybe even the attraction. And so if you decide to pivot and go in a different direction.
So let me ask you, is it a core piece? Or is it just a big piece? And I know you're like, what's the difference? But is it like it's make or break type stuff?
It's like you shifting up your whole being and you making a big change in this. Your whole being. And you making a change. And it's so severe and drastic that I gotta really contemplate this thing. I really gotta contemplate it because I mean, do I want to be with you because of this? Like,
I mean, so this is where I get tripped up because I'm like, so you're not gonna be with somebody because of a situation now, or because of something like this. But I'm trying to think about this now. If you just told me, okay, I'm not. Well, that would be problematic. If you just said you wasn't going.
Wasn't going what?
Get some things up down here.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? That would be problematic. I don't know that I would be okay with that. It would be actually rough. Yeah, that would be rough.
As you pause in contemplation, like
that would be very difficult. Like never again.
Yeah.
Damn. So okay. So I'm going in the opposite direction. I want to stay with what I'm trying to say. Mm-hmm. So that's rough. That's hard. So I'm not going to minimize the impact.
Yeah.
But it would never be a question for me like, oh, I don't know if I can be with you anymore, or this might damage the marriage to the degree that, we might not be able to maintain our relationship, or like it just wouldn't be like that. Like what? There's so much more that we have. And I'm not just talking about intimately.
If you said that to me, it would be a wrap.
So much more that we have sexually.
If you said that to me, it would be a wrap. I'm just playing.
You would struggle though. You would really. You had to go to a support group.
Nah, I think I would be good for that specifically. So we're talking about fellatio, cunnilingus, and all of that. Like
You think you would be good?
I think so. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I don't know who your representative to be showing up in our bedroom. I don't know what's going on. I'm confused now because I can't tell. I'm like, if somebody would ask me, is this a core need of your husband's sexual? I'd be like, it's core. It is a core need. I would never think that you would say, I'll be all right. If you damn sure don't be all right, you'd be like, boo. What's up? You know what I'm saying?
What's up?
It's been 2 days. Like, golly, that's interesting. I'm surprised to hear you say that, or maybe you just slicing yourself. I don't know.
So I'm not in that space,
even when you should not be struggling. You'd be like, I'm just having a hard time. For what? I just gave it to you yesterday. You know what I'm saying?
It's been 23 hours too long. I need it right now. Oh man,
but to the point that I was making, I can appreciate that you said it wouldn't be make or break. It wouldn't be like this is going to really damage us to this degree. And I think that, going back to what we were talking about originally, like it shouldn't after 15 years of marriage for this particular, instance, this is going to throw us if we can't, have an open relationship, or if I wasn't getting this kind of act or this kind of act.
Yeah.
We gotta be more flexible. And we have to be more creative,
Mhm.
and we have to find other ways to get our needs met. And when I say other ways, I don't mean outside of your partner. I'm saying with your partner.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there's so much that we're not even exposed to, we're not aware of. We ain't even scratched the surface of what,
Yeah.
our intimacy can look like sexually, emotionally, physically, because
But
we
that's
only have certain things that we've been exposed to, that we've
Mhm.
done or experienced, and that's all we know. But what if, you know what I'm saying? What if we actually said, let's go on a journey together, and it doesn't have to mean that the journey has to bring somebody else in. We can first start with self. In fact, I would say for those who absolutely know that, yeah, like, I mean, this is what we're going to do. I know I'm going down that road. I hear you, sis. I hear you saying that you don't think that it's the best. People can't even handle their own relationship with the one person, but I'm getting it in, and he getting it in. We gonna get it in. God bless you. Do your thing. You know what I'm saying? But what I would say is, first get it in every which way, just with each other.
Mhm.
Explore every aspect of one another. Explore each other's bodies to the fullest. Don't leave stuff uncovered, undiscovered. And then you go out and you have somebody else with y'all, and now they're a part of that. So me, I might be like, that's okay. But to me, the emotional intimacy, the vulnerability, the transparency, that connection between the two of you, that should be the number one goal. Not
I agree.
the three people somehow. Y'all gonna have y'all unique experiences, I suppose, but not that you in on our rock star moments,
Mhm.
all the time. No.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree. One thing I want to lift up though is that I do think that it's important that before you make any significant, and you may disagree, but before you make any significant decisions, whether to or whether not to, if this is important to him, it requires further processing. And so engaging in coaching, counseling, therapy to process, just where you are, where he is really important. And real talk, like there's that possibility, not that I'm advocating for him, but there's that possibility that when you go through the process of processing, that you may be like, you know what, let me go ahead and give it a shot. Or he might be like, you know what, it's not as big of a need as I thought that it was, but why are you looking like that? Why you giving me the stank face, the stank eye, and all of that?
I wasn't trying to, but I wasn't trying to. I was just, when you said
was that
something about,
about?
like, you might be like, I'm gonna go ahead.
You might, you never know.
No, I would. Well, you might,
Mhm.
right? You go in there, you see where the chips fall after
Mhm.
you have all of this conversation and processing. But I hope that your chips fall right back next to you where you started at. And that's what I hope. If you said, "Oh no, I'm not doing that," or "I don't want to do that," then stay there. You know what I'm saying? Stay there, because
You look like
this
a
is,
middle school, high school girl when you doing your face and head like that.
because let me say why I'm saying that. And again, we're people who teach all the time, compromise and collaborate on your relationship and be open and have new experiences. But this is not about, for those of you all who want to get it conflated and confused and mixed up and think that I'm bashing open marriages or what have you. That is not the case. I'm not bashing anything. I'm telling you what my experience tells me in terms of what works best. And we already talked about American culture in this context, in this country, right? I'm not talking about all over the world. Different places and spaces have different norms. And I'm not saying that you got to just be in the norm. I'm saying people cannot handle the relationship they have. So how are you going to be able to handle all the things that come with opening up the relationship? I was going down another road though. What was I just saying at the beginning of what I was saying?
What was I just saying at the beginning of what I was just saying?
What was I saying? Because it was I veered off. You don't know?
Nah, I mean, I know you made that face. Like you were irritated or agitated based off of what I
thank you.
said.
That helped me.
Your face did?
That helped me, yes. I think that women accommodate oftentimes in this area far too often, far too much. They're like abandoning themselves because I'm not a person who's just like, oh my God, I can never see doing that. They might not be that person.
Yeah.
They might be the person that's like, we've done it. We've done that a few times, more than a few, and I enjoy it. But I just did not imagine that this would be the way that our marriage would play out, or that it would be like this forever and ever. Like, I see something different now. You get to evolve, sis. That's all I'm saying. And if you evolve and you move into a different place in space, just because you've been open to something, like you said, wait a minute, that's the way we came together. That's what we know. about each other, that doesn't mean that you have to stay there. And I think that women just be making concessions and trying to figure out how they can still keep them interested in all of that.
That's true.
You said what you said, and that's where you need to stick. Now, for the sister who wrote in here, you ain't say nothing. You said, I don't know what's going on. I just want to encourage you wherever your truth lands and whatever comes up for you to really assess that and don't do a whole lot of second guessing and doubting. Usually with these things, our gut tells us right away what our comfort zone is, what we feel. Focus on the relationship. Y'all should focus on figuring out what gaps there are, because I promise you that the gaps are not that y'all can't be with somebody else. He's unfulfilled. Well, the unfulfilledness comes from something within him and or something within the relationship. That's where the work got to be done.
Yeah.
Whether you go outside or not. You know what I mean? So.
Yeah, this has been good. Definitely a good conversation, answering the question, and engaging with you. I love you, baby.
I love you too, sweetie pie.
Thank y'all for watching another episode of the Relationship Cheat Code. Please like, please subscribe, please share, and please comment, y'all. We're trying to get the word out here. We're trying to proliferate these internet streets, spread the love. So again, do those things, and check out the rest of the Relationship Cheat Code episodes, and we're going to holler at you next time. Peace.